minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, talking some Eastern New Mexico State Fair, James Duffey and Jonathan Dudley with us this morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How y'all gentlemen doing?
Very well. Glad to be here.
Yeah. Keeping busy, getting ready for Fair Week, which it's hot and fast and furious. This is the week to got to get everything done, or it ain't getting done, I guess, huh? When it comes to getting ready for the fair.
That's right. Or we'll improvise and make it through it.
That's right.
Yeah,
They
if
do
you haven't
it.
got it by now, you're not going to get it. So it's time to go.
They do it every year. Matter of fact, unofficially, the fair has already started. Over the weekend, we've had turn-in times for some of the arts and crafts stuff, like your sewing projects and those. The food will all come this week. They don't let the food sit for a week and then try it. That'd be might be a whole nother science experiment right there. But
that's correct.
But officially, the fair will start on Monday with the fair parade. However, the fair actually starts before then. Like I said, they've already been turning in stuff, but beginning this weekend, we're going to start seeing livestock shows and start seeing some of the work of the kids being on display and being utilized. So even before the parade and all the fun and pageantry of that, you can get to fairing before that. So.
Well, and with that, our carnival's gonna fire off Friday and Saturday and run early again this year.
Yeah, so you can come and now Friday and Saturday nights, it's the commercial buildings, all that's not going to be open.
Correct.
But the carnival will be, and the carnival food booth, so you can still get food. Some of the local ones that are there all week won't show up till Monday, but like the carnival stuff will all be there this weekend. And then of course some of the livestock shows will be some of the first shows will be happening as early as Saturday, I believe, for the first one there. So
yep,
that's right.
Good deal. So if you want to know what's going on in the fair, the quickest, easiest, simplest way to do that is go to the fair's website. It's the initials for the fair, enmsf.com. You'll see some tabs at the top. Click the one that says participation, and then a drop box comes down. You'll see all the entertainment listings for the fair that week. You'll also see the fair book. And the fair book is like the Bible for the fair. It's got all the rules on every single livestock show to arts and crafts event. It's got the rules, the things. So if you're participating as a participant or as a competitor, you'll know exactly all your information you need to know, how to present it, especially with arts and crafts when these turn-ins, like photos and all that they do over the weekend. There's certain ways they want that done. All those rules or everything you need to know is in the fair book. So if you've got any questions about the fair and you can't find someone to answer it directly, you'll probably find it at the website, either through the fair book or through one of the other tabs there on the website.
Yeah, they're on the homepage. If you scroll down to the bottom, there is just a tab for schedule of events, just for general public. I mean, it's a little easy 3-page deal. It lets you know when the shows are and not just the junior livestock side of the world. It shows what entertainers are going to be there at what time they go on each day and stuff of that nature. So,
and all these concerts and things are free with your fair admission. So it's not you're paying extra to come and participate. And by the way, some of these artists, this year included, they're going to be guys who are like, oh, they're pretty good. And next thing you know, you're going to hear them all over the radio on your country stations all over the place because they blow up.
That's true.
It just seems to happen that after the fair, we can't get them back because now they require 6 figures to get them to come back instead of 5 or 4 or whatever they normally run. But one thing I do want, and this is where you guys kind of excel here, is I want to invite people to come and check out the livestock side of the fair this year. I mean, a lot of people come out to the fair and have fun with the concerts or go out to the rodeo or go to, ride the rides or do all that. But come to go over to the livestock show arena. Junior Livestock Night, absolutely. But all week, I don't care what show's out there, it's fun. Even if you don't know a thing about animals or livestock or what they're doing, you'll pick it up as you're watching. But to me, it's just fun. It's just fun to watch these kids. Some are tiny, elementary age kids, and they're working these 800-pound heifers and these huge pigs and just to see them do this it's kind of warms the heart, makes you smile, and just gives you a little bit of faith in humanity again when you watch these kids in action. So I invite you to come and watch some of these shows. Just don't come out there and spin around on the Ferris wheel for a couple hours and eat a bunch of nachos and then go home feeling queasy. Come and see the shows. Come to the education building. Come and see all those other parts of the fair that that sometimes they don't know or realize are there, or that's not on the radar. I'm here to eat 8 pounds of chicken fingers and then spin on that thing for an hour, and then I'm gonna go home. No, come see the fun part, the fair. Come see the community on display, and that's
those
really
kids have worked really hard on those projects, and I mean, spend a lot of countless hours with those animals to make sure that they're calm enough to be able to walk in front of a crowd like that.
So do you guys do
show?
Do you guys do judging, or have done judging, or do judging in the livestock world?
I've judged several shows around.
I'm curious from a judging perspective. I know you have criteria and things, but like for the layperson, what's the difference generally between a first place, cow or whatever, and the 8th place one? Is there a big difference? Is it minute details? What is it that you guys look for when these judgings are going off?
Well, it depends on which species you're judging, but sometimes depending on the competition, and I would say out here, it'd be a very small difference between first and 8th. You go to some places, maybe a large difference. As far as the quality of livestock they're going to get to see at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, the livestock is here is competitive, whether they go to Louisville later on or Kansas City. Some of the livestock here, some of these kids will go on with some livestock to some major show, Denver, Kansas City,
something
Phoenix.
More national.
Or
national regional
show.
at least. Yeah.
Well, no, they're national shows. There'll be a lot of states at Louisville. Last time I was at Louisville, there's 30-something states at Louisville at that show. And I will say that it's been a few years ago, but there was like 7 or 8 breed champions in the sheep show, and about 5 of them came out of the state of New Mexico that show. And it is very, very highly competitive show. But you get back to the differences. I mean, every judge has different criteria of what they're looking for.
Sure.
Maybe it's more on structure. Maybe it's more on muscle. A lot of it has to do with showmanship, and that's one thing that kids really work at as far as to present their animals the best they can and how well they're groomed and get them out there. So there's a lot of emphasis put on that before they ever get to the show ring.
Sure.
About having the hides correct on those animals, having their hair coat perfect. And so there's a lot of things involved that everybody from the general public doesn't necessarily get to see before the show actually arrives. And most of that work's done at home before they ever get there.
And those are the variables that the kid can actually control. I mean, certain things, it's science. It grows the way it grows. Yeah. But like you said, if it's maintained correctly, if it's been, you can clearly see that they're working with the animal, and the animal has that, human animal, interaction relationship. You can develop and groom all that, and that's kind of, as far as the kids are concerned, that's the side they focus on. And the leg's longer than the other, that's just science. It just happened to be that. We can't fix that one.
It's a physical problem. Yeah, but I mean, feeding and the feel you have on the animal, and there's a lot of tangibles there that can be worked on.
But this is where the kids really learn, like the attention to detail, responsibility. It's for folks that never spent time in the military. Like when you were in the military, they had you fold T-shirts and things in perfect 6-inch circles, and they're thinking if you're willing to spend that much time and attention to detail on something as simple as a T-shirt, that when we put you on something expensive like a $100 million aircraft or whatever, you're going to put that same attention to detail. And in essence, this is kind of the same way, where these kids now get this time to learn, why it's important to do these things for the animals and things in an environment that isn't necessarily life or death for a business or a relationship or something like that. It's okay, we got one animal, it's like a pet or something else. You got to learn the responsibilities of what that animal needs and how to do that. And they're learning to pay that attention to detail, to put that much time and effort into these things. And when they realize, the results they get from doing it now, they're going to take that same mindset to when it's time to irrigate the entire, back 40 or whatever it is they've got, to do in a bigger, more important role.
That's true. And there's a lot of businesses that think that kids that come through these programs are the ones they want to hire just because of the things that you brought out.
Yeah, and
They've had to plan and execute, and they understand what work's all about.
yeah, and that's really, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're fostering here at this and any livestock show at any fair or anything like that. It's teaching the kids the lifestyle, the way, and how to become good adults and prosperous.
Success and failure, right? So
Exactly.
I mean, they work through these projects and have an opportunity to take them into a sale to either fund future projects or help fund their tuition at college or whatever it may be.
Yeah,
And so
which is why
to,
we put so much importance into the junior livestock sale that's always at the end of a fair every year. It is, you kind of want to go for the entertainment because you're like, I just want to see how high these numbers go, and you just kind of want to be a fly on the wall to see it. And but many participate, and it's really like you were saying, these kids are working towards either their next project or seed money for college to invest in their future. So the junior livestock sale is kind of that mark, that high water mark for many of these kids. Some will go on, like you said, to go take these animals onto a national show. Mm-hmm. But some are like, no, we're done here after the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Because believe it or not, this is the second biggest fair in the state of New Mexico. That we haven't caught up to the state fair yet, but we're getting there.
Well, as far as numbers go, with junior livestock is it's just as big or bigger than the state fair most years. So we have more animals here.
I was very happy and glad that we were able to host them last year for all the livestock events, but I will say it is nice to see that they're able to do that back up there again. You know, it's important for those kids up there and everything that may not be able to come down here for whatever reason. I'm glad to see they want to come back and visit and do it down here. We'll come with open arms, but it is glad to see they're back up there, you know, keeping the traditions going and doing the things that are vital to farming and ranching in New Mexico. So
I would agree with it. I think it absolutely important. Give kids every opportunity to showcase their talents.
Absolutely.
And so, but you talked about the junior livestock sale, and I think it's vitally important that we get all participation we can from our community out for the junior livestock sale that Saturday morning.
Yes.
I'd like to invite everyone out for breakfast that morning at 8 o'clock for the sale.
They feed you pretty good at the junior livestock breakfast. Usually there's a lot of the first couple minutes are always a little sluggish because everyone's kind of encumbered with eggs and bacon.
Yeah. So.
But it's a lot of fun. And here's another thing too. I mean, yeah, there's some big numbers that go flying around at the junior livestock sale, but you can get involved with that and help out. There's a lot of people with a team up because you'll hear some big numbers.
Absolutely. You can get in with a buyer's group, or we always have add-ons. Add-ons are huge.
Yeah.
When it comes to, I think last year, just in add-ons, I mean, we added 66,000 or 61,000 to the sale. And those are just people that are putting $100 here or $100 there per
whatever you can afford.
Made the sale or whatever. Yep.
You just want to, because we're not all can afford to drop down several grand for something like that. Can't do that. But you're like, no, I want to support what these kids are doing. So, hey, a couple of us together, we're each going to put in $100, and there's $500-600 towards that kid, and that's going to help out immensely for that child, young person, I should say, child, young man or woman.
Yeah. And if you want to participate and you can't be there, give us a call, and we'll be happy to educate you more about what you need. And
okay. Do you guys do some of the phone-in bids and stuff, too, where people call in bids and stuff? Does that happen, or is that a little too advanced for us?
I have been on the phone with people taking bids from them on the phone.
Gotcha.
We don't really advertise that, but if you know one of the guys that's there or gals,
we're
more than welcome to call in, and we'll happily take your bid and bid for you at the sale.
Either that or call one of us, reach out. Most of them know one of us that are on the sale committee or a board member somehow, some way. I mean, you can get it. That money will get in hands where it can be spent in the right place. If you've got a designated child or animal you want to try to purchase or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
We've all got buyers groups. We can kind of put it in there, and somebody will be there to be on your behalf and spend that for you and
Absolutely.
take care of your purchase.
Well, look at it this way. Every donation that's made or bid that is made at the junior livestock is an investment in the future of New Mexico and Chaves County. It really is, because these kids are going to be the future of this county, and they're going to be the ones that are going to be, well, probably sitting on the fair board, running the ranches, running the farms, running the ag industry in Southeast, working at Leprino, doing, from every farm and ranch aspect in our community. These are going to be the people that are doing it tomorrow and making sure that that we continue to do this and we continue to provide for the America here in Southeast New Mexico.
Absolutely.
And that's really what it's about. So you're investing in that. So if you can, hey, I get it. I ain't got 10 grand to give nobody. If I had 10 grand, I'm putting it in my house or whatever it is. I get you. But if you're like, you know what, me and my buddies, we can each put in $50, $100, whatever it is, that's how we achieve success. It's not one guy giving 50, it's 50 guys giving 1,000. That's what it really is.
Yep.
And that's how it works. So, think about it that way. And then I'd love for you to come out and just enjoy it, see it. And, because it's going to warm your heart, because I know it happens at every junior livestock. There's always some kids that had some adversity or something that it's just been rough, and then families know, and they're like, all right, let's help them out. And they usually those underdogs get rewarded at junior livestock auctions. And it warms your heart every time you see it, whether it's, an underdog story or a family that's gone through a lot over the last year and can use some extra help. The community rallies and helps, and that's what we do.
Very much so.
And
we do have a very giving community around
Very much
here.
so.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not only this for everything, and people giving and taking part in the community is what makes the community work.
Absolutely.
And so we thank everyone for their participation.
That's why the fair's awesome, because it's a celebration of our community, our families, our lifestyle, our world, and it's an opportunity for the kids to grow and promote and to become better members of our community. But at the same time, it's a celebration of our community and all the things we do, why we do what we do in life. We come and celebrate it at the fair. That's what the fair is all about. So yes, come out and ride the rides to your heart's content. Eat as many funnel cakes and nachos till your stomach is spinning. Have fun, but support the real reason why we're here. Come out to the livestock arena. Come see some shows. Certainly come out Saturday morning to the junior livestock auction. Visit the education building. If you have never been in that building, it's one of the coolest gems of the fair. Every time you go there, there's 2 places in that building I check out every year. One is how big the pumpkins are, because that's where they keep those gelatinous the pumpkin grower guys. And those things are just insane. And the model railroaders is another tradition in there. And while you're in there, then they got the artwork with all the kids and adults, and you see all of that. So to me, it's one of the coolest buildings in the fair that I think a lot of people forget or pass by. They'll go in the commercial building or, the other place, and then they just seem to miss that avenue there with the education building and all that. So make a point to visit that area. Support these kids, support our community, and definitely just keep on walking over to the livestock ring as you go past the education building out there and head there and start and sit down. And I don't care what show it is. I don't care if it's chickens or heifers or pigs or goats or whatever it is. You're gonna enjoy what you're seeing out there.
Yeah, in the evenings, even if you're out there at night and you want to walk through that junior livestock building, remember those kids are out there working that project that they're expecting to try to get into the sale, but stop and watch what they're doing. It's an art.
It is.
Some of these kids working, trimming hair, and I mean they're always sharpening their sword, right? I mean they're
exactly
out there
yeah
bathing these animals 2 or 3 times throughout the week and combing on them and this, that, and the other. So
it's almost
watch them. It's pretty cool.
I get tired just hearing their schedules. These kids at the week of the fair, because almost especially if they're more teenage age when they've been doing it for years, almost every one of them showing multiple animals.
Yeah.
And by the way, they're involved in another group with FFA or 4-H or something. So they're also there in their other club that isn't livestock related that they're supporting. And by the way, some of them are in school and they might have like honor society or some other
athletics
or band or some other
and
commitment.
Keep in mind, I mean, you look at it and you say, all right, it's the schedule of the fair, right? But it's not. I mean, these kids are doing this from the time they get that animal. I mean, no matter whether they're in school or football or whatever, I mean, they still got to raise that animal and feed it every day and walk it. And
Just for timeline purposes, like I'm sure it depends on the animal, but when these kids, what's that time frame where they kind of get the animal and say, all right, this animal is going to be for the Eastern New Mexico State Fair? When is that time frame where they get the animal and start that process of raising that animal?
Steers right now, they're already buying steers for next year.
Okay.
So if they give you the steers,
So it's a year out for them.
It's a year out for them. With the pigs, sheep, they'll start gathering a lot of those up February, March, April.
Okay.
Of this year for this year. So and so chickens and rabbits, age-wise, a little different. Those broilers are on feed for about 6 or 8 weeks.
Okay.
So it's fairly short time frame.
General rule of thumb: the bigger the animal, the longer out they
pretty much
they have to get it and
That's right.
start raising it and taking care of it.
That's correct.
So chickens and rabbits. That probably makes sense why you generally see the older kids with the bigger. You know what I'm saying? Where the younger kids start out with rabbits and chickens because attention spans and things aren't there with kids that age, and so that's something a little more their speed. And as they maturing a little bit, it's like, all right, you've graduated from rabbit, we now give you a goat or something like that.
Well, and some of that may be true, but some of it's facility wise. Some people don't have
That's
the
true, too.
facilities to have large animals where chickens.
You don't have
and
a bunch
rabbits,
of acres, and some
they
steer
have
might
a
not be your best
smaller
bet.
deal. And you see them do chickens and rabbits their whole career, but I mean it's. They get really good at doing what they're doing with chickens and rabbits.
Well,
and and like I say, they have a small facility and doing it in a small and
thanks to
environment
city
than others.
ordinances and things, you can have a chicken coop depending on your neighborhood and things. But that doesn't require a ranch to do that. And so a family can, in essence, have a little small garden and have a couple chickens back there and raise chickens.
Your initial investment can be smaller to be able to get into it and have that opportunity, because once you start, I mean, it's
is it like a bug?
Make that sale. I mean, once you're bit, you're bit.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these kids show, it's Chaves and Eddy County kids. I mean, all of them have showed at their respective counties. I mean, all of these kids have showed at their respective counties in some form or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Coming here, a lot of them went to state. Some of them will go on to national. So they'll show 3 or 4 times at different. So, I mean, it's not just this group of animals that they bring to Eastern.
Sure.
I mean, they've had other animals that they've bought at a different time and have got raised for this particular show or sale or whatever it may be.
I'm kind of curious, does the caliber of the animals and stuff differ from fair to fair? And what I mean by that, does the bigger the fair mean the bigger quality of animals, or is that not necessarily the case? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if you got more people from other areas, odds are they're going to bring. So those cows might look prettier than just say at the Chaves County Fair or the Eddy County Fair, or am I way off on that?
No, I think they're very competitive at all the fairs. I would say most of the time when you get them, you kind of project where you want them to be, particularly pigs. You only have a certain amount of days that you can kind of have a weight range that you can show those pigs.
Smaller window,
A smaller window with pigs, and it probably has the smallest window of all the pigs do.
Okay.
But the other ones, you can kind of you got a bigger weight range, so you can kind of play a little bit with a weight range to get them to where you want them to be as far as shows.
Gotcha.
Probably most of the time you want to take your very best ones to the state fair or Eastern fair, because that's where the competition is going to be the deepest, is at those 2 fairs or a national show. But like I say, those that are here at the Eastern Fair will be competitive and making different, whether they were at Albuquerque or where they go to national show. They're going to be competitive at those shows too.
Gotcha.
Top end of those animals.
So generally speaking, it's stiffer competition, but as far as the quality, you get it at every level.
That's right.
But you just might find more of it at a bigger fair versus a smaller fair.
Well, in the lighter weight classes, where you have lighter weights, those are going to grow and mature before the next show. So, and normally those are not going to be the grands or reserve grands. So they may hold on to those to go to another show, and then their weights will be a little higher. They'll be more competitive when they're in the heavier classes.
Gotcha. So. I'm kind of curious, because this is actually about the kids and things, but these kids all come from ranches and things. Some of them are from a commercial farm or ranch that's their day job as well as it is their hobby or something like that. How does that work reputation wise for farms and ranches? If they got a family and those kids are winning prizes at fairs all the time, does that up the status of the business side of things a little bit in the community, where they're like, hey, they got prize winning pigs every year that come out of that ranch. I'm next time I'm ready for bacon, I'm going over there. You know what I mean? Is that a marketing tool for some of these companies, or not so much?
It would be to a degree with those that raise like club type animals.
Okay.
I mean, if the kids that have their animals do well, then other people say, hey, that's where I want to go buy my next project from,
Okay.
from X, Y, or Z.
So I got you. So maybe not for the consumer level, but more in the world of showing animals and things like that.
Right.
I got you. Okay. Makes sense. I'm just curious because I grew up in the DC area, and I don't, my farm and ranching knowledge is not, it's
You
from
do pretty
visiting.
good.
I visit stuff.
Do pretty good.
Yeah. so I grew up more of a city boy, so I don't have a whole lot of experience there. So I'm kind of generally curious, how the process works and stuff, because it's fascinating to me, and I love, and this is what I love so much about it is the livestock shows, is just the tradition and the families, because every year you see these kids and you just know this is their tradition. This is what they were born into, this, some of these kids, and I love to see that. But at the same token, I also love seeing these kids that maybe never had a pet before or had something, and they get one for the first time, and the level of which, the seriousness of which they treat it is kind of cool to me. I think that's pretty special. So
and
that's what I love about the fair. It gives you those feelings all week long.
As well, we got to thank our community. We have survey cards when all these kids and families leave out of here. And a lot of times, I mean, it's just overwhelming, the support that Chavez County has poured into the fair. Or, I mean, they love coming here. I mean, this is my favorite place to come show an animal. It's just so. That goes just from a great community.
And I can say this and you guys included, the Eastern New Mexico State Fair Board, and every single person that is a part of the Eastern New Mexico State Fair does a great job of welcoming, bringing, making people feel at home and feel a part of that. And so it does not surprise me that when the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, because we get people, sure, we have a lot of locals but
oh yeah,
check our hotels and everything. It's filled up. That next week going to be very full in this community, because we're going to have a lot of out of town people in town shopping and visiting. And to get those I love coming here, and it's because people treat them well. They can, and that translates outside the fairgrounds too. They have their favorite places they shop, their favorite restaurants they go to, their favorite hotels and lodging that they stay in, and all of that is us, the community, that makes that happen. And it starts with this fair board, but if we, the community, don't support that, it's going to make that fair board's job a lot harder to entice people to want to come next year. So it really has something that we all have to work in concert together and basically be good stewards of our community to others outside of it.
And I will say our fair board is all volunteer for our fair board, and little different as far as state fair. The state fair commission, their fair board's all appointed by the governor, and so there's not really any political ties for us as far as fair board members.
It's all passionate people that really want to see a great fair
and want to see things
go. The volunteers just pour out. I mean, you don't ever have to look for somebody to help do a task at the junior livestock side of things, whether it be help a kid get an animal over to the sale ring or run a board during the pig show or whatever. I mean, there's always somebody willing and ready. So the volunteers that are pour out.
A product is always much better when you have a bunch of people that are passionate about the project doing it, not passionate about using it as a stepping stone to get to somewhere else.
Absolutely.
And when you're talking about governor appointments, those people are like, let me do a good job here so I can be the next whatever, something else.
What's next?
Every single person on this fair board's like, how do we make this fair better than last year's? That's their goal.
Which this year we're celebrating 100 years, right? So
we even got to that part. This is the 100th anniversary of the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. We kind of swept over the headline there, but
older than the state fair, as a matter of fact.
It is, and I'm glad to see Larry Hobson's going to be the grand marshal for the. I mean, talk about. Let's face it, his family, the Hobsons, we wouldn't have a fair without that man and his efforts and his family's efforts.
He put a lot of effort and passion into it for many, many years.
Yeah,
and we're very thankful.
Even though he's kind of retired, I don't know how much of a retired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that in name only? I don't know about that.
That's true.
But again, please go to the Eastern New Mexico State Fair's website. That is your best resource for finding out any information, especially when it comes to livestock shows and things like that. The website, again, is www.enmsf.com. It's short for Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Also, like and follow the Eastern New Mexico State Fair Facebook page, because during the week of the fair, that's probably going to be your best friend. Because if there's because it happens every year.
Definitely the fastest way to get any updates.
Happens every year. There's going to be a rainstorm that comes through. Something's going to happen that's going to push events around. It's just, it's Murphy's Law. It just happens every year at the fair. It's a guarantee.
Yep.
And so when that happens, that Facebook page is really quick to say, hey, we had to delay the livestock show or delay the concert an hour but it's back here. Or don't forget, tonight's the night. Make sure, it's ride armband night. This is the night you want to come ride rides. Come on, that to stay up to date on all that kind of information. The Facebook page is your best bet for that. So,
yep.
Good deal, Jim. Is there anything you guys wanted to share that we spaced out or spaced over or skipped or anything like that?
No, I think you covered everything quite well. I appreciate it and appreciate y'all and all your time and effort to help us make the fair success.
Yes, thank y'all.
Well, thank you, and thank every one of those board members and every volunteer that makes this fair a success every year, because we couldn't talk about how cool that fair is without that support. And they do it year in and year out, through COVID, through like the post service, rain, sleet, or snow. Those folks are out there making the fair the best it can possibly be, and we it does not go unnoticed. We're very appreciative. So,
thank you.
Thank you.
Despite the world we live in, we still appreciate the hard work and dedication. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.